today's 80s and 90s hits. First off, we got Grant Pinkley to my right, and I'm Trevor Bartusek. First off, we're going to be talking about the MLB playoffs. And last night, we had a couple games, but a couple days ago, we had actually one series wrap up a little bit early with the Rangers over the Rays in 4. And pivotal game for the Rays there. Mm-hmm. But it was the Rangers that kind of took over. And you got any stats about that game, Grant?
Yeah, it was just a big game. Game 4 was really big for Adrian Beltre. He in the first 3, I mean, he really wasn't coming on. I mean, they got him in, mid-season, didn't they? Adrian came in mid-season and wasn't too big for him. And then when the playoffs started, he the first 3 games, he was 1 for 11 in the series, and then that game 4, he hit 3 straight home runs. He really came out of nowhere, and it really gave the Rangers a big boost. They got Josh Hamilton and Kinsler. I mean they're both pivotal players for the Rangers, but I mean a big pickup, don't you think?
Oh yeah, huge pickup. He had a big game, stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Tampa Bay and you're in their home field,
right,
and you gotta have something like that. You gotta have somebody out of the ordinary come in.
And I feel kind of bad for our native Jeremy Hellickson, but when you're throwing them, right down the middle, 91, 92, I mean it's not too tough.
Yeah.
But,
like you said, we got Des Moines local.
Right.
Jeremy Hellickson, he was on the mound for Game 4.
Right.
Didn't last very long. Gave up 3 solo home runs in the first couple innings, and just a tough loss for him.
Right. I was really hoping he'd step up, but that's how it goes when you got some good players. But next, and also after that series, they'll either play the winner of the Yankees versus Detroit, which is actually tonight at 7. So the series is tied 2-2, and the big thing here is what they got going is CC Sabathia is going to be ready in the bullpen. What do you think about that?
I don't know whether he'll be ready or not. Maybe it might just be an intimidation factor, maybe some insurance backup.
Right.
But Justin Verlander the other night pitched about 120 pitches, and it's pretty much impossible for him to come back on a day's rest and be ready out of the bullpen. But I think it'll be a big game in Yankee Stadium.
Right. Right. Yeah, it is a little different seeing. If he does get that chance to come out of the bullpen, it's going to be.
Might be more situational than anything.
It's definitely going to help, but I think it's going to be pretty neat. I've always been a Cleveland Indians fan, and to see CC come, and obviously, I think the Cleveland Indians are kind of like a farm league, anyways. They kind of get their players developed and they send them off to all these other big teams. But CC, I'm happy to see him doing well for the Yankees, and it's going to be kind of cool to see him come out of the bullpen, maybe to be a big impact in this game.
Talk about mid-season pickups, or actually later towards the season. Detroit Tigers picked up former Minnesota Twins outfielder Delman Young from waivers, and he's actually been producing very well. He had a couple home runs in the other game, and had the game-winning or game go-ahead home run the other night in the 5-4 victory in Game 4.
Right.
Next up, we got
Next, let's talk about Milwaukee and the Diamondbacks last night. Game 4 was last night, and I really saw key player Chris Young having 2 home runs. That was actually Diamondbacks history right there in the playoffs. There was no other player that hit 2 home runs. I thought that was pretty big for him to come off and do that.
Arizona doesn't hit too many home runs, but when they do, they sure like to get them in bunches. Last night, Roberts had a grand slam for him, the second grand slam in as many days. Mm-hmm. And they like to get a lot of runs at one time.
Now back to the hits with the 80s and 90s. Flashback Radio. That was Melissa Etheridge, I'm the Only One, on Flashback 94, 80s and 90s hits. Back with you, Trevor and Grant. We're going to wrap up the Milwaukee versus Arizona game. They play tomorrow night. The series is tied, I think, like we said. They play tomorrow night at Milwaukee. Anything you got to add, any more to that game, Trevor?
I think it might just come down to home field advantage and
Mm-hmm.
whether Arizona can get off to a quick start.
Right.
Being away, I mean, it'll be tough to play Milwaukee for the last game, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Milwaukee's got a lot of warriors on the team. They got Prince Fielder. They got just different Braun and everyone that's stepping up right now. And I mean, they're going to be a tough team to beat. And yeah, like you said, they're going to be at home, and it's not going to be easy. But let's move on here with the St. Louis versus Philly game they played last night. That series is now tied 2-2. Anything you got there, Trevor?
I mean, we're going back to Philly on Friday, and I'm again, that'll be a tough matchup for St. Louis to go into
Right.
Philly with.
Right.
Philly's always a tough postseason matchup, and I mean, you look at the starters they got over there at Philadelphia for pitching staff.
Right.
I mean, they got
Exactly.
Cliff Lee and.
But also you got St. Louis and Pujols. I mean, he's hungry. I mean, he wants to keep going on, and he's sick of losing.
He wants it. I don't even think very many people thought that St. Louis was going to hang around this long.
Oh, no.
But now they're tied 2-2. Anything's possible. I mean, whenever you're playing away in the playoffs,
Definitely.
I mean, especially on a closing game in the last game of the series, I mean, you got to get the bats off. Got to get the bats off right away.
Yeah, definitely. Philly has a huge advantage with their pitching staff. But I mean, I guess a highlight from last night's game was David Freese, 2 for 3. He brought in 4 RBIs, and then to go on for the next game coming up, you got Carpenter coming on for Game 5 for the Cardinals. I mean, that's big too, don't you think? I mean,
definitely one of their big arms over there in St. Louis.
Definitely, yeah.
He's the money maker. He's got to have a big game here in Game 5.
Right. Okay, let's switch sports here up. Let's go to the NFL. Let's start it off talking about the Eagles. You know, they're 1-3, predicting to be the dream team, and Vic's interviewed saying, the dream team's dead. What do you think about that, Trevor?
I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like the Miami Heat last year when they were talking about the big three and how they were going to win all those championships and stuff, and they had a bunch of hype. Yeah, they ended up in the NBA Finals, but I mean, didn't pay off last year, and who knows if we'll even have an NBA season. But I mean, the Eagles referred to as the dream team with all the free agent pickups and the trades in the offseason. They have the players, and I mean, that doesn't always mean everything. You got to have the chemistry. And
I was hoping Vic would have a good year. I mean, they can still have a good year. Yeah. They started off bad with 1-3, but I mean they can still have a good year. And Vic's got. I mean that team's pretty much centered around Vic right now and what he's gonna do. But the biggest thing I saw in those games that they've played, those 4 games, is they were ahead, but they blew the fourth quarter lead in every game.
Can't have that, especially when you sign those cornerbacks like they did.
Right. And
Rogers Cromartie and Amdi Asamoah. I mean, 2 of the best cornerbacks in the league. You can't allow that many points in the second half. It just can't happen. And they're last in the NFC East, but Sunday they'll come back and they'll face a good Bills team, which they're 3-1. Surprising.
Right, and they got to. I mean, that's going to show a lot there. If they get that win. But let's go on to the other side of the NFL where you got the Packers and Lions, which are both 4-0, and I mean the Packers, you kind of expect them to be to be stepping up, and I mean you got talent all around there, and with Rodgers and AJ Hawk, my former Buckeye player, he's always stepping up. But let's talk about the Lions a little bit. You got your rookie quarterback. What do you think about them there, Trevor?
Very surprising start for the Lions. They've always had promise, and actually Matthew Stafford the last couple of years has been dinged up, and people didn't know about his durability, and he's having a great year this year, throwing to Calvin Johnson, who's actually leading the NFL for wide receivers and touchdown receptions with 8, and Stafford's actually second in fantasy points out there for quarterbacks.
Right.
Next up for a song, we got Hall & Oates, Say It Ain't So, here on Flashback 94. Back to the sports now. We got a little bit of NBA talk here. Big controversy with the lockout this season going on so far. I mean, they're just not pulling in the money they used to, and who knows if we'll even have an NBA season this year. It's been talked about with David Stern threatening to cancel the season. I mean, you got Tony Parker. He just agreed to play in France.
Right, and then Kobe, I mean, he's talking about maybe joining Italy too. Just not good things going on with the NBA. Looking right now, with the NFL, they kind of had the same stuff going on. I hope things turn around and they end up having a season but let's switch things up. Let's bring it in to more local sports here. We're gonna first talk about the Hawkeyes. They're 3-1. And 3-1 right now. They had a bye week last week. They're kind of still determining, how good they're gonna be, here for Iowa. They're coming off a bye week, and now they got to play Penn State, which is 4-1 at Penn State. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game, and both teams are gonna have to step up. But I mean, I think the Hawkeyes have a good chance of pulling this one off.
Yeah, it'll be a hostile environment there at Penn State. The game's going to be on ABC at 2 o'clock. I mean, that's always a big game on national TV. The Hawkeyes have been sort of changing up the offense a little bit, putting some more points up on the board, running the offense a little bit faster. And,
right.
I mean, once they figure all that out, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, Vandenberg to McNutt is big right now. And you got Coker. He's running the ball well for him. I mean, like I said, they're still trying to find – how well they're going to do, especially with both conferences splitting up this year. I mean, my team, the Buckeyes, they had a tough loss last week, but I mean, like I said, they got those conferences split up. I mean, you don't know who's really going to come out and how they're going to, end up dealing with those conferences. And now let's change it up and go back to the Cyclones now, to the other side of into the Big 12 here. They had a tough loss to Texas this last week, and now they come and play at Baylor.
Yeah, it'll be a big weekend game this week. They travel to Texas and play Baylor, number 25. I mean, both teams are 3-1, and Baylor's got Robert Griffin III, who's one of the top Heisman candidates of the year. I mean, it's might get a little ugly there for the Cyclones, but starting off the season 3-0, they thought they had a good chemistry, and they thought things were actually coming together. Beat the Hawkeyes, big game.
Yep.
And things were looking
really
promising
well
for the game against Texas, and then they just had too many mental mistakes and kind of beat themselves there for a while.
Well, you know who's really impressed with the Cyclones is Jance.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I used to watch the Cyclones a little more when I was younger, when they had Seneca Wallace. He reminds me a lot of how Seneca was. I'm not sure if he's quite that good as Seneca was, but man, when I watched the Hawkeye Cyclones game, he was very, very impressive.
Yeah, he was. He doesn't have too much playing experience here in the D1 Big 12 league, but I mean, hey, he's got the skills. I mean, just got to limit the turnovers and kind of keep possession of the ball a little bit more.
Right. Let's switch off now, and let's bring it back to Grandview, which they're 3-3 right now. Homecoming weekend was last, and they played against Ambrose. Did you notice anything about that game?
Tough homecoming loss there for Grandview. Big hopes for a big homecoming win, and just couldn't get it done against Ambrose.
Right.
This week they look to rebound as they travel to Waldorf. Hopefully get back on some winning waters. And
right. I actually got a chance to go to the game, and it was just both teams seemed like they both struggled to almost score, and I was impressed with both sides of the ball, both teams, but I was really hoping Grandview would come out with the win, but that's all right. I mean, they're still 500. They can bounce back, and they play at Waldorf next. They can bounce back and get that victory. Let's move on to a little bit of random stuff.
A little bit of entertainment information. Yesterday there was big news all across CNN and even on ESPN. The death of Steve Jobs, Apple's iPhone, iPod, iPad, iMac, and etc. He passed away yesterday at the age of 56.
Right.
There is, no specific case.
And he's really definitely left left a mark. You know, I mean,
He's changed the world.
He's invented some key things, and yeah, and he died. How old was he?
He was 56. He had been linked to pancreatic cancer in the past,
Okay.
and that's most likely the cause. But I mean, that man, he changed a lot of lives. He changed the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many people can say that at such a young age that he was at.
So yeah, he's definitely left a legacy, and he'll be definitely remembered.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't find anybody who doesn't have an iPod or
Right.
an iPhone or something like that of some sort these days.
Right. And real quick here, I want to talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is back in action. He's competing today, actually, in the Freeze.com Open. He's got a new endorsement, new caddy. He says his swing is overhauled, and he says you're always fine tuning your swing. I mean, it's good to see him come back. I know he's made a lot of mistakes, but it's good to see him back in action, and he's looking good. He's probably feeling good. You know, when you're in golf, I mean, it doesn't matter the age. You can always compete. And
Yep.
Thanks for listening today. Now back to the flashback 80s and 90s hits, KGVC.